I understand it as an idea. If you move to another country, you're probably going to have to learn another language. I didn't realize that would happen in America as well, because I speak English, but here people speak American. Similar, but not the same, all right? So like small things change, small things, and I accept that small things change, like pronunciation. For instance, the thing you drink, I call that water, yes, water. In American, you say water, right? Water, yeah. I say water because there's a T in the word, right? The glass you see yourself in every morning, I refer to that as a mirror, yeah, right? In American, you say a mirror, right? A mirror, yeah, which is not the same thing to me. A mirror is the glass. A mirror is a Middle Eastern man. Very different experience. It's not the same thing. And that's just pronunciation, right? You also have to learn the meanings of words that you already knew when you moved to America. For instance, where I'm from, there's a garment that men commonly wear under their shirts. It's white and it's sleeveless. Yeah? Where I'm from, we refer to this as a vest, okay? I've now learned in American, it is known as a wife beater. Yeah, I have so many questions. And so the best and worst experience I had learning American happened to me when I first moved to the US. I lived in California, in Pasadena, when I first came to the United States, right? And the reason I lived in Pasadena is because that's where I knew my first American friend, a guy by the name of David Meyer. He came to South Africa to film a documentary. We became the best of friends. And one day we were hanging out in Dave's apartment. And Dave's chilling on his beanbag. And he looks over at me and he's like, Trevor, dude, I don't know about you right now, but I'm starving. I said, I think you mean you're hungry, Dave. I said, what? I said, it doesn't matter, what do you want to eat? So you know what I'm craving right now, man? I'm craving tacos. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do it, man. Let's go to tacos. What? Isn't that the restaurant you're craving? Tacos? Are you being serious right now? You've never had tacos? I said, no, I don't know what tacos is. You've never had tacos? My answer hasn't changed from now, Dave, no. I've never had tacos. You've never had tacos? And by the way, I hate it when people do that. You know when people ask you the same question over and over again because they can't believe you haven't had the exact same life experience? You know that thing people do? Like with everything, they'll be like, oh my God, have you heard the new Beyonce? No, I have. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? No, I haven't. You haven't heard the new Beyonce? Oh no, now I have. No, I'd never had tacos, right? I'd never had tacos because in South Africa, we don't really have Mexican food, okay? We don't have Mexican food because we don't have Mexicans. They never came over. It's not my fault. Dave was personally offended. I'll never forget, he jumped up and he was like, dude, I cannot believe you've been in America all this time and you've never had tacos? I said, Dave, why is it such a big deal? He's like, because, Trevor, nothing says America like tacos. I said, really? Nothing says America like Mexican food? And you know what's funny is I feel like in that moment, I feel like Dave was being profound. He didn't even realize it, but that was a profound little nugget that he had just espoused. Nothing says America like tacos. I've had the privilege of traveling everywhere in this beautiful country. I've been to places like Erie, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, Honolulu, Hawaii, you know. I've been everywhere, and one thing I've learned across the board in America is that Americans love tacos. Everywhere you go, Americans love tacos. Love tacos. Even people you wouldn't expect. I was watching the news one day, and there was a guy at a rally, right? And they were asking him about immigration and families being separated, etc. And this guy, like, regardless of his politics, like, he was being really mean and xenophobic and racist, you know, just acting real presidential. And the journalist asked him about children, and he just went straight, and he was like, boy, I'll tell you what, I don't give a damn about any of these goddamn Mexicans, you heard? They came over here, they ain't supposed to be here, boy. Woo! It's our country now, you heard? That's right, boy, go back to where you came from. Woo! these Mexicans ain't done nothing good. They ain't brought nothing good to America. We don't need y'all. Come on, Bubba. It's Taco Tuesdays. Get out of here, but leave the recipes. I feel like there should be a rule in America. They should say, you can hate immigrants all you want, but if you do, you don't get to eat their food. Yeah? That's a fair exchange for me. You hate immigrants, no immigrant food. And when I say no immigrant food, I mean no immigrant food, nothing. No Mexican food, no Caribbean food, no Dominican food, no Asian food, nothing. Only potatoes. And I'm not even saying like flavored potatoes. I'm just saying plain potatoes. No spice. Because no immigrants, no spice. Don't ever forget that. Both figuratively and literally, no spice. And I know some people would take that. I know. I know there's some people right now who'd be like, well, you know what, Trevor? Take your immigrants, take your spice, and get the hell out of here. You say that now. Because you've never lived a life without spice. But don't ever forget. A life without spice was so hard, that it made white people sail around the world to find it. And like, this wasn't regular sailing. This wasn't like a Disney cruise. These people sailed at a time when they believed if you went that way, you would fall off the edge of the earth and die. And still, some man out there was eating some white lady's cooking, and he was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm sailing that way. But what if you die? At least it's exciting. No immigrants, no spice. And definitely no tacos. Yeah, I know my friend Dave would never allow that. I've never seen him so passionate. He got up, he gave me a speech about tacos like he was the heir to a taco dynasty. He finally turned to me, he's like, Trevor, as your friend and as an American, I'm gonna make sure that you get tacos if it's the last thing I ever do. I was like, why don't we just go now, Dave? He's like, that'll work. You know my favorite part of any conversation is when people think you're gonna argue with them, but you agree, and they've already chosen anger. Because nobody just changes their tone. Everyone has to stick in the anger for a while because they think it makes them seem less crazy. Like, it happens in relationships all the time. You'll have a fight that's not a fight. You know, just be like, God damn it, Karen, every time I ask for your support, you're not there for me and it hurts me sometimes. You know what, Bob, I'm sorry. No, don't try and thank you very much. I didn't think you would apologize, and so I chose this tone, and now I feel like an idiot. I'm gonna leave the room and reset. I wasn't gonna fight. I wanna have tacos. Let's go get tacos, Dave. So we rolled together, jumped into the car, and so we drove for about 20 minutes, right, to what I thought was going to be a restaurant. Instead, Dave pulls over into an abandoned parking lot. Kills the engine, looks over at me and goes, all right, dude, we're here. I was like, where? At my murder scene? I was like, no, dude, we're getting tacos over there. And he points, and in the corner of the parking lot was a truck, right? A food truck, yeah, which I've now learned is quite common in America. In fact, some of the best food you'll find at a food truck. But at that moment in time, you have to forgive me, I was a little bit apprehensive, okay? Yeah, I just wasn't quite comfortable with the idea of getting my food from an establishment that would not be there the next day. I feel like there's a certain level of accountability that comes with permanence. Dave was adamant, though. He's like, dude, you gotta get it from a truck, dude. That's how you know it's real. I was like, all right, well, let's just get this over with. Let's do it. So I hop out of the car, walk up to the truck. And it was definitely a taco truck, because there's a sign above it flashing that read, tacos. 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 By the way, weird piece of trivia about me as a person. I hate signs that flash but don't change. Yeah, I always feel like a sign shouldn't be allowed to flash unless it intermittently changes to some other information. Otherwise, I think that's wasted suspense. It should be illegal. Because it always catches my eye, and then I wait for something else, like tacos, and tacos. And what else? Tacos. Anything else? Tacos. Just stay on tacos. Anyway, now I'm irritated. I walk up to the truck, and as I get there, this little dude pops out, and he was in a completely different mood to me. You could tell. He just puffed his head. I was like, hey, how you doing, man? You want some tacos? I said, it would be awkward if we didn't. He says, what? Oh, yeah, of course, man, of course. But you never know. Maybe you want something else, yeah? I said, what else do you have, my friend? He said, no, nothing, man. It's a taco truck. I said, thank you. Thank you. That's a moment of my life I'll never get back. Thank you very much. I said, no, calmate, man. I'm just saying, I don't want to waste your time. You want tacos? Let's do tacos. How many tacos do you want, my friend? I said, well, I don't know how many tacos to get, sir. I've never had tacos before. He said, you've never had tacos? I said, no, I have. You've never had tacos? I was like, you should meet my friend Dave. Because I'm not going to order food when I don't know what it is, okay? I don't know what the quantities are. I don't know what tacos are. I don't know what taco is. I don't know what taco be, okay? What do you say? How many do you get? Because just now I'm going to be like, give me 5. What if tacos like little pigs or something? I'm like, give me 5. Next thing I'm walking home with this, wee. And that's how I started my farm. Like, I have no clue what these things are. So I'm like, yo, man, I just want to try the food. Just give me enough to try. He's like, okay, you're just trying it out. 2 tacos is enough, my friend. I said, okay, then give me 2 tacos. He's like, 2 tacos, coming up. Guy goes to the back, starts preparing the food. I have no clue what's coming out. Comes back a few minutes later. He's like, hey, my friend, your tacos are ready. I said, thank you, man. Thank you very much. He's like, yeah, you want a napkin? I said, I'm sorry, what? I said, do you want a napkin? And now, LA. This is where it gets weird for me. Because you see, where I'm from, napkins are the things babies wear to hold their shits. The thing for your mouth we call a serviette. But I didn't know that, so at this point, this man had just turned to me, offered me food, and then said, you want a napkin? I said, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Why would I want a napkin? So, man, for the mess afterwards. I said, for the mess? How instant is it that I need a napkin? I said, hey, man, you never know with tacos, man. 1 minute you think you got it, the next thing is coming out. I said, that sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. He's like, no, it's part of the experience. Everybody does it, man. You make a mess, you clean up, you come back and try again, I said, all right, that's an experience I don't want to have. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to skip it. He's like, so you're not going to try my food? I said, okay, I'll try the food, but I'm not going to take the napkin, man. He said, so what are you going to do? I said, well, if it's as crazy as you say it is, I'll just eat the taco in the car on the way home. He's like, oh, you think you're safe. But you're going to be driving. Somebody swerves, you hit the brakes, splat, it's coming out. Don't be a hero, man. Just take the napkin. I said, all right, I'm not being a hero right now. I'm just being a grown-ass man, okay? Like, if it gets really bad, I'll just squeeze super tight till I get to where I'm going. He's like, yeah, that's the problem. Some people, they don't know. They squeeze it too tight, then the juice can spring out even more. It can spray on your pants and on your shirt and all. I'm like, on my shirt? How the hell does shit get all the way up to my shirt? What is this, bouncing on the ground and ricocheting back up? What the hell is in this, man? He's like, hey, man, you want the napkin or not? I said, I don't even know what your tacos right now, dude. So much stress. Now I love tacos. Yeah. I love tacos. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican people. I